Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's me, R-Squad911, back again with another DIY video. This is also kind of just like an informative video that I wanted to do regarding the 12th floor movie props. If you saw my video that I just uploaded just, I don't know, a day or two ago, that's the latest and greatest 12th floor movie prop motherboard, and that just plopped right in. I think they worked out all the kinks. There was no issues installing it. It was super fast. Maybe it only took me 25 minutes. Um, though I did have the drilling done because I had this one done. So I would say it shouldn't take you more than 35 minutes to do it total. And it was great. And if you can see from that one, there's also a lot less holes for the HasLab Alice frame things because you really don't need this many on it. I just opted for this one, these two, and the bottom ones only because I have these spacers. These spacers here that I got on Etsy. I'll put a link below that helps lift the Alice frame off the motherboard, just like the movies. It gives you like kind of a space, and it helps you with like your neck foam pad and whatnot. And I think it was yeah, the right decision when I got these, and they work really, really well. So the motherboard here is their first attempt at it. Maybe not their first. I've been hearing that there was some fitment issues on the very first run that they did. This was probably mid, and the one over there is like their latest. This one, I did have to fiddle with it to get it to work. It did, in the end, work and fit fine. But there was a few issues. Number one was in their cut file, I don't think that they had welded the wireframe properly. And what happened with the CNC, it took those little pieces, I guess, that they didn't clean up in the CAD drawing, and it kind of cut these notches into here. That can be fixed with like a file or whatnot, just like kind of sand down, but it kind of sucks that this is painted and there was a notch right up top here. So I'm using my daughter's pickler climbing thing here to do it. It's best because I have no flat piece. If I lay this flat on a table, this is just gonna get in the way. And what I had to fiddle with was here. These old brackets here, there's just kind of like one kind of screw hole there. And what I had to do was make that hole a lot bigger. I just used a giant drill bit and made it big. On the new ones, they've actually put an oval cutout in there, and it's quite wide. So you do have that left and right adjustability and up and down adjustability. So that made installation a breeze. On this one, it was kind of more tight tolerance, more precise. So it's definitely more difficult to install. But in the end, I did get it to work, and it fit fine. But the biggest issue for me, was screw alignment for the Alice frame. So when I mounted the Alice frame, it sat a little bit lower. Like these two screws here determine where the Alice frame really sits. Center-wise, it doesn't matter. It will always be center, as long as obviously these holes are center. But these two down here, the big ones, when you had those mounted, and I would mount these ones, I feel like these ones hold most of the weight. These didn't line up. Yeah, that did bother me. So what happens was I would bolt these two in, these two, and then I would put my spacers bolted in there and just let the Alice frame sit on it, because I did buy these spacers here from Etsy, and what it does is it kind of pushes the Alice frame off the motherboard and gives it more of that movie accuracy and a little bit more comfort, so your back isn't right up against the motherboard. There is some space. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to bolt the Alice frame on and show you what the issue was, but they have come up with, to me, quite a nice, elegant solution to fix that problem. So if you do have one of these earlier motherboards that have that issue, yeah, they've come up with a pretty neat way to fix it. I know it's not ideal. It should fit right out of the box, but I mean, uh, you can fault them, but you got to understand sometimes. I know it sucks to be the guinea pig and for you to later on find out after you've done all that work, you know, elongating holes and whatnot and fit it, and then the Alice frame doesn't fit on. But they did come up with a solution, um, and I think it works. But for me, I just wanted something that was better, so I just bought another one, and I ordered it with less screws so it doesn't look like Swiss cheese on the back of the motherboard, which is great, a great option that they offer, that you can just kind of customize it as you go. But as these things get more popular and they start pumping more of these out, maybe they'll stop doing that. So I would get on it ASAP, because that new one is perfect. It worked out perfectly for me, at least. Okay, so let's put in this Alice frame. I'm going to use the spacers that I usually use. I'm going to show you. So these are the bottom spacers. I'm going to put these here, like so. And then I'm going to use this Alice frame with these elongated bolts. And they are included when you buy these spacers. I'm just going to lightly screw them in by hand. Okay, and then we'll center that a little bit. So right away you can see these screws are not, or the Alice frame is not center to this. Now, I spoke to a few customers too who had purchased the earlier ones. I don't know if it was like mid-run or something, maybe the file got screwed up, but they said that their Alice frame fit no problem along the cross beams and all the ones down the spine. So I don't know what happened there. So if I show you, if I put in this side, is this the side spacer? No. Yes, it is a side spacer. So if I put the side spacer in and I line up the holes, you can see there's no way the bracket would fit on, right? Like you can't fit on. Even without the spacer, if you were to put this bracket on, the holes aren't even close. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to screw it in at all. There's just no play, because these two screws down here are fixed point. There is no adjustability. So what I did was I had bolted these spacers down into it with just the screws, and then I bolted this one actually into place. Like so. And I'll just tighten them in just to show you what I'm talking about. Like that. And literally there's nothing, you can see there's like only like angled movements. Like these bolts down here aren't tightened yet, but no matter what you do, it's not going to line up. Like that's the hole there, and that's the hole there. You can see there's a 1/4 inch. So what is their solution for this? I am going to show you. And it's actually pretty nice. They basically machine these cylinders that have 2 screw holes in it that are offset. So you can mount it differently. And I'm going to show you now. This is it right here. This is that cylinder that I was talking about. So this one here, it sits flush in there and acts as a spacer as well that I'm using, and it's very lightweight aluminum. Most of the weight is actually these bolts, which are nice stainless steel bolts. This is couple of grams. And what's nice is that this one is inset, and then I believe that that's where it mounts, and it will move the Alice frame up 1/4 of an inch up this way, and then you would bolt this to the Alice frame. So, and then where do we move it downwards? We move it downwards, and then it'll pull the Alice frame down. So I am going to unscrew the Alice frame here. Okay, so we're going to take these. These are my spacers. And you can see it's the same height as that, maybe slightly taller, ever so slightly. Right? So I'm going to bolt that in. Put that in here with the hole downwards. Like that. All right. Get the second one. Now, these are so cool that I use them on that pack. So instead of having them, on that motherboard. So instead of having it like pointing down, I have them sideways, so it keeps it the same, on the same plane. And because I don't need to move it up or down, right? All the other screws are lined up. Because it's such a nice looking spacers versus the 3D printed. And why waste this really nice machined item? Okay. All right. And they did give me a metal piece that I'm going to go grab. I'm not sure if that is for alignment. I think it is. 263 millimeter setup strip. Not sure what that's for. Oh, I think maybe that's for that, to see if it lines up. So that hole there now lines up with that hole. And that hole there lines up with that hole. Huh. So they even give you like this measurement strip just in case you need to figure out that is the proper distance. All right, so where are the bolts for that? These bolts, I really like these. These are like heavy duty stainless steel bolts. I'm going to take the Alice frame here. We're going to line it up. And alignment's starting to look pretty good there. So I'm going to lightly thread these in. That's 2. So that is slightly off. I'm wondering if it needs to be, because it's a circle, I need to angle it a little bit. So now it's too low before it was too high. So I need to use, maybe I need to use that alignment strip. A little bit more accurately. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Let's try it like that. There we go. It looks like we have our alignment. Just put that there and check. Yes, we are good. Like that. Tighten that one. Those align. Yes, that is good. So the trick is not to have it facing completely down, like a straight down. Depending on maybe how off the screws are, you would have to turn that machine cylinder to where you need it to be. So I'm going to take this off the tripod and I'll show you, how mine was not straight down. You can see that the bolt here is kind of like on a 45 angle to determine where it needed to be. Hence, that's why they give you that setup strip. It's really, really smart. Obviously, you're probably thinking it would have been smart if they just got the measurements right in the first place, but you know what? Stuff happens. And they learn from their mistakes. They try to fix their mistakes. And in the end, they're going to make you whole. Like, it's actually a pretty nice solution. And who doesn't want another piece of machined aluminum on their pack, right? And that's what it is. And again, I won't be using these bolting holes. There's just too much, but I think this is more than enough. And yeah, I think it's great. Like, look at that. It's so good. And then you can see that's the aluminum pieces there. And that's that. I mean, yeah. Just want to show you guys how it works, how it's installed, and it'll work perfectly if you have a slightly misaligned screws like me. So even if it was off 1/4 inch to almost even a 1/2 inch, these cylinders are definitely going to fix that issue for you if you have it. So props to 12th Floor Movie Props for finding a solution for us. And I think it's going to work out fine for you guys. Hopefully, if you are having kind of like fitment issues, they're going to send you the new brackets that they have. I think the new ones are even engraved, like top, bottom left, bottom right, and stuff like that. So maybe they'll send you new hardware and these alignment things, and it'll just fit just like their new one. So don't fret if you guys are struggling or fighting with it and having alignment issues. I think they have come out with a really, really good solution. So kudos to them. All right, so that is my DIY video for now. Please like, subscribe, or don't like or subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.